So you write firstly A, and then D, and then T. Okay? So that A is going to be a sentence. It's going to be a phrase. The second A is going to be a phrase. And then D and that. Right? And then as Charlie was saying, we're going to ask questions afterwards. For those of you who love reading, then you're going to get a copy of the book free. I'll sign it with you. All right? But if you don't like reading, don't take it. Because it has to be read. Okay? All right. All right. So, I want to talk about, I want to talk under a topic that says appreciate your value. I think the previous speakers have spoken so much. Appreciate your value. All right? Now, I'm going to take this pen and say to you, send me this pen. What do you say? In 5 seconds, send me this pen. Yeah? You are the one sending it. Yes. So I'm saying, sell me this pen. I'm saying to you, sell me this pen. What would you say to sell? Yeah? I'm not looking for the price. I'm looking for the value. What I'm gonna clear. It's a pen, right? Very great, yes. Yeah. Why does the liquid? Why must the liquid be important to me? All right. But if I were to say to you, thank you so much for that. If I were to say to you, I want to send this day, and I say to you, you don't have a pen. I'm saying to you, please write your name. You're going to say to me, I don't have a pen. That's exactly the value that you're going to get from the pen. You're going to be able to write. Okay. So the point of value, that's a value. Appreciate. The word appreciate, it means two things. It can mean the fact that the value must grow. The way they say the house is appreciating in value. Or it means appreciate love in value. Okay. So both those terms are applicable. So appreciate your value because you are valuable. Is there anyone here who has money, let's say 10 rand, 20 rand? No. Okay. It's fine. 100 rand. What can you buy with this money? Yes? Chips? Yeah? Bread? Yeah? Bread, okay. Clothes, you can buy something. If you want to take this 100 rand and do something like this, okay, can you take the same rand? Yeah? Yes. Are you? Yes. Okay, let me do something about it. That's it. Gotcha. Yes. It's still money. It has value. So, if you go and trouble with an and I can give you with an excuse by mistake, and start that you buy anything new. Yes. All right? He was talking about all the young boys and the people that are broken. You know that they feel very excited because they were created in a value. So what happens on the outside does not diminish the value that they have. It may be better than shaking all of that. And once they work on themselves and appreciate their value, they are going to then get that value out so that we can all appreciate. Okay, so never underestimate yourself because your value of value matter. That is why all of these things that have been taught here today have been taught to us. Because no one will teach you this thing if you're not valuable. Why do you have to clean yourself? Why do you have to look after your mental health? It's because you have inherited that. Or believe that you're created by someone who put value into you. Okay, so that's why I'm saying appreciate that value. Okay. Now, this is my first A I'm going to be talking about. But listen to me first before this is not an example, right? When I was your age, I read a book. In that book, it was talking about the school of Prince Henry, the British king. He's no longer the prince, he's the king. And in that school that they had a motto. Who understands French here? They don't understand French. Oh, okay, all right. Tell me what, can you read this? Just read it yourself and not say it out loud. Yeah? Can you see it? All right, please say it to us in French. What is it? Exactly, cruise urban goals. Okay? So they had a motto like this. Instead of the does anyone know what it means? More us. Exactly. That's the first thing. Adopt this motto that says there is more in you than you think. Yeah, more in us. Yeah, you can say. So based on what I'm saying to you, there is more in you than you think. You can say there is more in me than I think. All right? So I adopted this motto for myself, and I'm saying to you now, the first day, adopt a motto that says, there is more in me. What does the motto say? Please write that. Adopt motto. There is more in me than you think. That is how you appreciate your value. It is when you adopt something that tells you that there is more in you than you think. You can be young now. You can be uncertain now. You can have all the kind of issues that you're facing. But there is more in you than you think. So this is very, very important for us to understand. You know that when you appreciate the fact that there is more, you have talents that are undeveloped, gifts that are unopened, ideas. Someone can develop an habit that's going to change lives of people. You can come up with a great recipe. You can. There's so much in you that people cannot see at the present moment. So understand that. That's how you appreciate your value. You must not look at what you have now in the conditions of your life now and think that that is all of it. There is more in you. Adopt a motto that says there is more in you than you think. One time, this Jewish rabbi, he goes to this field with forest. It was a forest, actually. And as he was walking there by himself, he gets to a point where you can either, it's a crossroad. It's what you call it's a crossroad, where you can either turn left or you turn right. And so he's standing here trying to figure out where do I go, because the road has come to a T-junction. You can either go left or you can either go right. This man that he was in was a private farm. And he was not aware that it was a private farm. So as he was standing there thinking, which way must I go? Must I go left? Must I go right? And maybe as a pause and tell you that the age where you are there 12, grade 10, grade 10, grade 12. All right, grade 12. Okay, and 11, 10. Okay. All of you are within the range of having to make decisions. Some of you have had in grade 10, having to choose subjects. in terms of where you're going to go. Show the difference. Yeah? All right. So you've come to a crossroad where you have to choose to either go this way or that way. And so this is where this man got to a point where he needed to choose which way to go. Because he wanted to go somewhere, but he was in this situation. When he was there, he did not see that there was a security guard who was guarding his private property. And this security guard was sitting there on top of something, and he had the loudspeaker. And he was seeing him when he was standing there trying to figure out which way to go. And he asked him 3 questions. Who are you? What are you doing here? And where are you going? Did you hear those questions? Who are you? What are you doing here? And where are you going? This Jewish rabbi who was standing there started to think about these questions. And he said, man, where are you? And when he found it, he asked him this question. He said, how much money do they pay you to be a security guard for this place? And this man said to him, he gave him the amount of money that he was giving, that he was being paid. The rabbi got closer to him and said to him, listen, can I pay you so that you can ask me these questions every morning of my life? What he was saying is that these 3 questions are foundational questions that each one of us must ask. So the second A is ask yourself these 3 questions as regularly as you can. Who are you? I know you make it, but who are you? What is your identity? What are you doing here? That's the question of purpose. What are you doing here? Yes, you are studying, you are studying, but what else are you there for? What is the bigger picture of your existence? Are you just existing, going to eat, going to school, doing what are you doing? Are you just taking up space? The third question is the question of vision. Where are you going? So the second is ask yourself these 3 questions. Who are you? Or who am I? What am I doing here? Where am I going? Those are very, very important questions in life that we are not going to answer them all the time, quickly. It might take a long time for you to understand who you are. You may start off by looking at your own family. Sometimes when you look at your family, you may not be proud of the conditions of your life, but that does not define who you are. You may not be satisfied with the resources that they have. You may not be satisfied with the background. Some of us are born, for example, in dysfunctional families, or whatever the situation is. And you're not feeling proud about that, but you can still use that background to define a new identity for you. So ask yourself these 3 questions. Who am I? What am I doing here? And where am I going? We're talking about the mental health and all that. It is not that you can have mental health for the sake of mental health, but it is to have mental health strength so that you can be something and do something with it in the future. There are people who are healthy, physically fit and strong and healthy. Some of them are clean, some of them are handsome, they are looking after themselves, but they are tremendous exercises. Well, they don't have a bigger issue. So the cleanliness and achieve all of the stuff that we're talking about here have to help you to achieve something greater, which is to make a positive impact on people's lives. Are we together so far? What were the first 2 A's? What was the first A? All right, I appreciate the very the talk, the overall topic. All right, yes. Exactly. Adopt that motto. Number 2, A. Ask yourself these 3 questions every day. You can wake up in the morning. before you go and take a shower and bath. I said, what? Who am I? Who am I? Some of us may even have to go to our families to check your lineage, you know, where we come from as a family and all of that kind of stuff. Because all of those things are about who you have become. But they are not enough to define. The past can define, but the future can define. But who am I? For example, I believe that I am a creature, creator, creature, created in the image of God. So that identifies who I am. So who he is, I can become. I can not necessarily become God, but I can become that. So I want us to now move to the first thing. I was in a place called Sikukuni. Who knows Sikukuni? Ever been in Sikukuni? Yeah, okay. So I was in the rural area. Before I do the work that I'm doing now, I was the CEO of SOS Student Villages, South Africa. And we were looking at young people and children who were being abandoned, who did not have families of their own, and so on. So we provided family-based care and all of those kinds of things for them. And so I was visiting one of the projects in Sikukuni. When I was there, I met a man. His name is Tapelo. Tapelo was having in front of him belts, leather belts, shoes, women's bags, stuff that he was that he was studying, bags and wallets and things like that. And I asked him, Tapelo, where did you learn this thing? Tapelo grew up without any parents. He grew up under serious financial troubles. But Tapelo decided that the fact that I did not have anything is not to define who I am. But I am going to do something about the situation. So he came to join the band to learn how to make these bags. Today he sells those bells, those bags, and all those the wallets and everything, and what was sandals and all of that stuff. He sells it to people like Casper Invest. All the superstars they buy from him. He has not moved to Johannesburg. He still works there in the rural areas of Sekukuni. The point is, I asked him, he said, I wanted to do something. The first thing, do something. Do something. Tapelo could have said that. Tapelo could have decided that I'm just going to go to school, come back home, and that's it. And he decided that I have a skill inside of me, something that he was not aware that he could make. He could make bangles, he could make sand. No, he was not aware of that. But once he got the idea, he started to do something. For some of us, we make an idea, then we think of something. But Tapelo said, no, I'm going to. He comes to Johannesburg to sell, to buy his stuff, to paint, to polish his stuff. So he did also things around the country. And in fact, in some other countries, to do something. Then today, we've been speaking about cleanliness, waking up, brushing your teeth, doing that. Some of us are going to skip that again. But the point of this is that you must do something. Okay? Do something. Don't sit as they say on the Lord. Do something, no matter how young you feel, but you can do something. Then the second D. Need to put face with this story. Two boys who were twins, Alex and Brett Harris. These two boys were twins, your age. During school holidays, what they would do, they would sit at home, watch TV, play computer games, sit. His mother would see them, their mother would see them moving from the chair, from the sofa where they were watching the games. The first place they would go to is to simply walk to the fridge take something, come back, and sit the whole day. They play games on their phones, they play all of that kind of stuff. That's all they did the whole day. The whole day. One time, the father, who was working somewhere, decided, no, I've had enough of these boys doing this thing. He went to his library and took out books. He took out books after books. Took 10 books each. Books in leadership, books in economy, books in theology, books in public policy, books in so many various disciplines, science, for example, mental health, whatever you can think about. And he said to this boy, come here, and then come here when the future, come here. You are the twins. So he took these books, each one and 10. He put 10 here, he put 10 in. What do you do? He said to them, guys, take one for this. He said, listen, I want you, before the school holiday ends, to read each of these books and summarize it and give me a piece of paper with that summary. You, what can you do? What can you say? Frustrated. These boys were saying, no, Jay, we can't do that. No, father. He did not want to listen to any of that. He said, I'm done. He walked when he walked out, took his car, went to it. And these boys had no options. All their gadgets were taken. Or who has the anyone have the PlayStation? Or the phone good games in your phone? All of that. They were taken away. Imagine them being taken away. The father said, guys, I'm sick of you sitting here the whole day, eating, doing nothing. The floor is dirty. You just, the everything is dirty in this house. You don't do anything. This assignment. This book started to read, this boy started to read. 15 years of age, 16 years of age, he started to read and get in the back. Wow. So, all men of believer. It's more than, and they started to read this words. And they were reading and summarizing it. And then we're enjoying this stuff. We never knew that there was some stuff, for example, books of leadership. No, I didn't know that there was concepts like this, politics, economics. No, and they started to enjoy this thing. So what they would do, they would take the physical paper and type them. Those days, they didn't have Facebook and Twitter and all that. They had something called MySpace. All right? It was the social media of the time. So they started writing these summaries on MySpace, and within no time, there were thousands that became millions of young people who were reading and responding to these messages. Did you understand? Or they're just writing, putting it out there on social media and off it went. And young people all over the world started to see these boys writing these summaries, men, and they gave feedback. Feedback in the discussions online. People were making comments, such that these boys have written this book, telling that experience. Which illustrates the following will be do hard things. Don't be satisfied with just sitting there and doing nothing. Not just do something, but do hard things. So these boys established something they call a revolution. A question I can't write down. A revolution. So basically, this is a combination of two words, rebel and revolution. You get that? So they started this online movement called revolution. So what that means was that they found out they were society, as a society, we have low expectations of teenagers. We expect them to know the whole game. We don't expect much from youngsters. We expect them just to sit and do nothing, go outside, kick a ball, and come back. We're not expecting anything from them. They say, no, we're rebelling against those low expectations. That's what the book is about. It's about a teenage rebellion against low expectations. Never appreciate when people have low expectations of you, because there is more in you than that. These boys, when they were 16, 17, they came out with this book. And never appreciate it when people have low expectations of you. When people say, I'm not sure you are from this place, from that home, you can't do that. You can't get that degree where after hearing go from that family like that, no. Your mother was this, your father was this. No, don't appreciate it when people have low expectations of you. So the fourth point is do hard things. You know, he was talking about washing. I can make an example of that. Every morning when I wake up and go into my shower, I take a cold shower. Have you ever taken a cold shower? Yeah? You think it's easy? I can give you an assignment where you go to Google, research the benefit of cold showers. Yeah? That's a good, that's hard stuff. When you sitting there and watching all the Twitter and all that kind of stuff, go to YouTube, where if you can, or Google, type what are the benefits, or what is the benefit of cold showers for the learn something. Hard stuff. Exercise your body. Don't eat everything that's put in front of you. Hard things. You can write that poem. You can develop that music that you time to. You can write a song. You can even write a book for that matter. You can lead campaigns. These young men, they lead campaigns. They work with judges in America. You can go, if a politician is having a campaign. They were leading those campaigns and all of those kinds of stuff. So, adopt a motto that says there is more in you. Ask yourself these questions. Who am I? What am I doing here? Where am I going? Do something, no matter what the situation is. Fourthly, do hard things. Do hard things. I'm going to go closer to the end. Take responsibility. Don't shift responsibility, blaming others, no matter what the situation is. Take responsibility. There's a man here. This guy. I did an interview with him on my YouTube channel. This guy. Hey, boy. Huh? This guy, his name is Paul Lee, from Portishead, my hometown. Paul, when he was a teenager, he got into crime. That led him to spend years in prison when he was still young. I'm talking about this guy, Bob. His name is called Bob. You can even watch him on social media. Bob was mentored by someone that I also know. And he decided that he was going to turn his life around. Today, I'm talking to you. Bob has a large business, a very large business, photography business that he learned. At the time when he was still coming up, he tried to go to university, but Then by the time he job, and he ended up dropping out and doing all sorts of things. This, that, that. But now, what I'm hoping to take the answer is just switch off the volume. I'm going to take so, don't worry about it, just because the book title is called Self-Inflicted. He's not blaming anyone. His mother was there. He was getting everything, but he still chose a life of crime and doing all these other things. Up until he made a decision and he realized the consequences of choice. He's taking responsibility and he's sharing with us as the readers. He's sharing his life journey of making better decisions. But the point is, he took responsibility, not only for the past, but for his future. He turned his life around. Today, he's a well-traveled, he's a global speaker. He gets asked to go and speak in prisons. Remember, he's coming from prison. And they're paying him for that. They're paying him for that. He goes and addresses the people in prison. He goes to schools. He goes to corporate companies. He does a lot of things. When I was launching my book, I invited him to take pictures of the professionally done pictures. And I paid him for his time and for his services. He's a businessman now. Take responsibility. Don't blame other people for your situation. Take responsibility. The last one to talk about is the last T. I thought about this guy who's standing in front of me. I grew up in a poverty-stricken environment. When I was growing up, there were a lot of things that were happening. We were under apartheid, which was designed to destroy our lives on the basis of our color of our skin. We could not go to certain parts of town. There were people that would chase you away. You would go to a shop. There were two doors. Left, then campus. This is the white only. You have no idea about that. Remember this one time, we were coming from a church service, this boys, maybe about 9, 10, something like that. And we wanted to go to the beach. Those days there were black beaches and white. Everybody put it correctly. A white sea and a black sea. I felt my language. I don't use that. Wanted to go to this speech. So the way there, you needed to pass through a police station. That police station, there was a young man standing outside, a young white man standing outside. It had nothing to do. It was a Sunday morning, nothing to do. So he decided, no, he's going to while away time with us. Certain boys called us to the church station. As we were there, he was looking for something to beat us, like cane, one cane. And there was an older man who was telling him what to do. And so they took chairs like that. Then so what they would do, put the chair like a round, those round ones, not necessarily like this. And then you have to do this so that you bound out. And he said to you, you two, you're gonna beat each other. You two, you're gonna beat each other. You two, you're gonna beat each other. And if you don't beat the way I want you to be beaten, I'm gonna beat you for the show. Just imagine that humiliation. For what? And beating one another. And then they decided, no, we're not doing it now. And he made us accept. For what? Simply because we will do it. So I came up and grew up in a society that was not really intended for me to be where I am today. All right? There's so many other stories that I could tell you. There's so many other stories I could tell you that are suitable for your age. But I won't get there. But the point I'm trying to make is this is the last thing. There is always a gap in the cloud. Okay? There is always a gap in the cloud. Clouds are problems, no matter what problems they are. Clouds are disappointment, suffering, issues that are not conducive for you. The message is simple. Whatever the cloud that you cover, there's always a gap in that cloud. Remember, the gap is a breakthrough. A gap is the ability to achieve the goals that you always wanted to aspire. And this then comes from a trip that I took as I went up. This trip that I took it from here to Johannesburg to Pietermaritzburg. I was taking it on a flight. And as I was flying, it was raining, it was windy, it was just terrible. Have you ever been on a flight that's going for 10 minutes? And as we were flying, they said to us, ladies and gentlemen, buckle your seatbelt, close your tray tables, open your window shutters, because we headed for a big trouble. The rain was coming hard. The wind was blowing, the thunder was rumbling, the lightning enveloped the whole aeroplane. It was terrible. And in those times, just if I'm going to die, I'd rather die. So I was trying to fall asleep. And he said to us, when we get to Pietermaritzburg, if we cannot land because of the thickness of the cloud, we're going to go to Durban. But before we go to Durban, we're going to circle a couple of times in the air. The cloud was almost touching the ground. It was thick and dark. And so he settled, and I was sleeping. But I overheard him in the middle of that saying, ladies and gentlemen, we found a gap in the cloud. And as he was saying that, he found a gap in that cloud and landed the aeroplane. Meaning that even though the cloud was there, he was looking. He was checking. He was looking for gaps in the cloud. So the point is, no matter what the situation is, what the professor was talking about, the hope, never lose hope. There is always a gap in the cloud. I'm saying this, friends, because young black, especially young black boys, there's a huge recognition in society that they are being left behind. Countries have empowered women and girls so much that young boys are failing in schools. Dropping out rates are very high of young boys. Young boys are killing themselves more in suicide than young girls. And they are not making it to university. They are involving themselves into substance abuse and all the problems that I'm talking about. Boys all over the world are lagging behind, such that the world is realizing that boys and girls are equal. They should not have been left behind from the start. I was in Soweto a couple of months ago, I think 2 or 3 months ago. President Ramaphosa was there. We had organized Love Life together with other partners, Prime Stars and other partners. We organized an event which was attended by President Ramaphosa. In fact, I gave him the copy of the book. He had it. All right. And so when he was there, there's a recognition that he was saying that the government and others are recognizing that boys are being left behind to the detriment of our country. And the other problem that I'm having is that when we're talking about boys, we're not talking about our young men, we're not talking about their own ages. we're talking about them in the context of gender-based violence. I'm saying those two issues can be separated. So the point I'm trying to make is a recognition that many of you guys are going through drugs, are going through destroying their lives, are being failing, sort of failing at school, not because you cannot think them, but you have no sense of who you are. Because society has told you that you are less important than girls. Both girls and boys are important equally. We should not oppress women in the first place, neither should we oppress men. So the point we're trying to make in this issue of what about the boy child, we're saying there should be equality between these two. We complement one another. We must not abuse, we must not break them. We must not look at them as sexual objects. We must not look at them. But there are other issues that are affecting you as young men. Research shows that a lot of you are becoming bad terms to older women. And they are using you as sex objects. That is what's happening also. It's not about the lesser that are abusing the young women. The issue of teenage pregnancy is a big issue in our country that Tata was talking about. So young men, you have a future in your hands. You close your zip. You don't have to be sleeping around. You don't have to. Sex will come. This time will come. All right? You still have to prioritize. There are diseases, sexually transmitted diseases, that are affecting young men. You know what? As I close, as I sit down, our research about my show that young people at this age who are beginning to fall in love with girlfriends, if you're a boy, and so on, if you're girlfriend. So they have been, especially who were born to parents who are HIV positive. Their parents never told them that, hey, I'm HIV positive. So this child, when he or she is growing, she's growing, being given these things to take. Yes, he does not know, or he does not know why I'm taking these things. Because the mother never disclosed, or the father never disclosed that actually you were born with HIV. Now that kid, when he goes to school, others are not taking these pills. And they feel like, no, man, I'm not going to take these pills. And they start falling in love with you. They don't know that they're HIV positive. And you just enter into sexual intercourse. You even become protection. That is the biggest problem of lack of disclosure. AIDS and HIV are actually out of bounds in South Africa. We don't talk about it, but certain transmissibilities are so much. You need to understand, guys, that your life is still ahead of you. You don't want to be infected with all of these diseases. You have to look after yourself, be responsible, make sure that you are able to look after, you're not playing around, sleeping around with all of those kinds of things. It's important that you look after your sexual health and lifestyle so that you make proper decisions when you are ready to make those decisions. Don't find yourself having a child that cannot play, a child that cannot grow in conditions that are not proud. Their friends, they are men by age. They are living in the suburbs. Some of them are not friends. They are living in the suburbs and they're speaking, they are the wife and the children are going to good schools. But inside they're regretting because another child of theirs is sitting somewhere in a situation. They're not even able to support them, but they know my child is sleeping in a chair. But here I'm feeding this group here. I'm looking after this family. I'm driving them to school. But I'm not able to support those ones. So you don't want to create those things. Thank you so much. Other books, just to show you the importance of reading. This book was written Emmanuel Taban is a man who was a refugee, who walked from Sudan to South Africa, various countries. He's now a doctor. He's now a doctor this guy. Right? He was a refugee. Witnessed God. Grew up under difficult circumstances. He's now a well-known guy. Patko Mafan. You know this guy? All right? He was a PRO case. It's a great team, by the way. All right. So what I'm trying to say, the reason I'm showing this book is so that you can read. Read. Even if you do not have the interest, do updates. Read. All right. Thank you so much.
And as promised, we to some questions of the session, and then some comparables, and so I will start with the first, and this comes to the front. Or you stand up. So, if someone can give me the name of one of the three boys, that was the book, and that would to stop playing games and studying. So, give us the name. So the boys, because I see this morning, give us two names. Three colors. Two names of the two boys. They, okay. Two names of the two boys. Listen. Henry. Sorry. Oh, you said Alex and Alex and okay. Just a minute. One second. I'll ask another question. And then, what is the foundation now? Someone can give us the foundation of the question that asking yourself. Please stand up. Tell us the foundation. Okay. Okay. He said yes. No, okay. Yeah. Let's give him a hand of applause. This slide when we then take an eye. Are you going to do this again? Okay. And then Coach Patrick mentioned that in his daily there's the question that there's a question that Coach said. So as well, other gents, if you are interested in the book, you can write to us. Possible. So the message was shared to answer the question, what about women in girls? What about the boy? You also bring that, regardless of how much you stand forward, still get to bring the still in society. So the question is, what are you going to change? What are you going to do? Because 5, 10 years from now, when I come back, you are expected to find and expected certain roles in society. So I want you to stand up so that do that almost reached the end of the session. And if someone might get something, share afterwards. However, after you when ask who's prayer. So once I would remember, might get who remembers the chat. Those are we arrange the bench and so this is the first. Will I can will I can I will I can so okay. Before we pray, when I was very young, I used to be writing home. I was young for very long time. Writing, I shall pass through this world fast. Any good thing for any kind of so any good thing, watch. So that was formed with and later, the serve us Lord when we put things when we are alive, safely, Lord, we safely to serve us. When we abandon the thing, because we lost our best, Lord, serve us today and boldly to venture on what the sea, the storm will be in us. So never give up on that. Next, ask God to dispel so that you don't become satisfied where you are. No matter how good you feel. If you pretend that forward, you read that book, read the next one, write the next one, grow, never give up. Dispel us when we are satisfied with ourselves. When our dreams have come true, but the dreams dispel us. Lord, we thank you so much for giving us this movie of that man. They have the potential to change the future of this world. And the future of the family development come employees. They have the ability to grow. They have the ability to run this country and to run the economies and the companies and remove all the corrupt officials, corrupt CEOs of companies and replace them with ethical administration. But this, what they've done for coming years, they invest in their own life. We pray that we can take this city together so that as they grow, this could be an experience that they will never help them become better. All that struggle, it may be the area of finance, it may be the area of success, it may be in the area of despondency, mental challenges, emotional issues. Resolve those issues for them, but help them operate. To ask this will go whether go ahead.
Yes, it's one. Or we can take one.
Okay. So we can do another. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
I don't get the statement. Oh, yes. Good time. Thank you so much.
All the one from Abraham from here. You guys, each of them Abraham, this guy,
Oh,
both countries. But you don't always do
you saw all this.
Boys, let's give a hand of applause to the ladies. Hey. Yeah. That's no. Yeah. Yeah. It's, it's, yeah. Yeah. CJ. Yeah. No, hey guys, how are you doing? You didn't have a class? Okay. Also, now that he has. That's good. Yeah. Yeah. It's me.